Okay. So for today, what we are going to do is we are going to focus mainly on the characters of the Abhi and friends, that is all the planets and sun and the moon, and what are the things that are unique about them regarding their size and their color. So you know me, I'm Abhi. So all my cute little 10 friends who are with me. So today we are going to see about the color and the size of the planets. What is so unique about it? And before I begin, have anyone seen this kind of a light in your hands? Have anyone seen this kind of a light in your hands? This is your human hand can be seen in such a different kind of light. Anybody know what this light is? Any clue? What is this color? Ah, very good, super. So this is called
Light.
ultraviolet light, correct. So this ultraviolet light, what is it seeing now? It is in your hand. What is it seeing? Ultraviolet light can kill bacteria and virus. So what you are seeing right now is a very clean hand. So there is no bacteria and virus that are sticking in the hand of a person. Okay. Now, what if I see this with a camera filter? If I see the sunflower. So what happens? Normally, if you see the sunflower, it is in the color of yellow. So it is in the color of sun. So, but if you see it in the ultraviolet light, it will look like this. Or if it is a different pattern of sunflower, it looks like this. So what you are seeing now, what is this difference in this color from the right and the left?
Uh, First one looks like a colorful, and the second one is bluish.
Okay, 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 very good. It's bluish on the background. What are you seeing on the front of the flower?
So when so when I think that when yellow and blue mixes, it forms brown. So the
Ah,
color of the
okay,
flower is brown.
okay. So you are coming very close to it. So for the even little jolly bees, I will tell you the color that you are seeing now with the ultraviolet light is the combination colors between red and green. Red and green, when it tries to mixes, it creates a combinational color of a kind of brown and yellow. How do I know this? How can I able to tell this? Because over many thousands and thousands of years, our human eyes have adopted to see color in the visible light, that is only in three primary colors: red, green and blue. All the colors in between have somehow managed to blend into each other. And can anyone tell me, is there any animal that can see in ultraviolet light? It lives deep inside the ocean. It lives very deep inside the ocean.
Whale.
Ah, correct. So sharks, whales, all those animals which go very deep into the water have the ability to see the surroundings in ultraviolet light. And there are theories that some of the insects that live in the night sky, those which have that light in the back, that mini puchi, what we call it as the fireflies, have the ability to see the world in the ultraviolet spectrum. So if you see in another image, so this is another big sunflower. You can see that there is a very small insect sitting on it. It is a common fly, very common fly that is sitting on the flower. But as you can see, what it is leaving there is the entire body of that uh, common fly is illuminated in the color that you can see. So it is also in the color of yellowish tint in the background. So every object in the world can take some kind of light from its surrounding and reflect out the color that it is not absorbing. This is called visible spectrum. So this is the whole subject of physics with light and wavelength. So this is very big concept. So I'll go very simple. So one end you can see there is a color. Can you tell me what this color is?
Violet.
Very good. So What is this color?
Purple.
Purple, violet, whatever it may
Dark
be.
red.
Dark red. Okay. So what is in the middle of this?
Green.
Green.
Ah,
Green and yellow.
green and yellow. So all these three colors come in different wavelength. So one is extremely blue, one is extremely red, and one is middle of the both red and blue. So that is called in green and yellow. So over many thousands of years, what happened? Our eyes have got itself trained to see very many colors. You can see our eyes, it is made up of many layers of lenses and layers of cornea. So what is this cornea? It is a layer inside our eye which can see the light. But inside our eye, if you go very deep, if you put a microscope and see inside your eye, there are different kinds of retinal cones, rods and cones, which are sensitive to only three light. So red color, green color, and blue color. Only these three colors of light we can see. But with that, if you try to see the world, it is of different colors for different objects. But how do we differentiate this to look into a planet? So if you are having a planet, there are very many ways to see that planet. I told you there are many telescopes to see the planet. There are many satellites that orbit around the planet to take lot of photographs. All these things are very different. But over many years, we have evolved ourselves to adopt different cameras, and we put different cameras in different satellites to take photographs. So what has happened? We have evolved into three different color themes. That is, one is in cyan blue, another is in magenta, another is in yellow. So you saw three colors, but there is also another fourth color. Can anyone tell me what is the fourth color that has been combination of this? Any guess? So I told you there is C, M, Y, and K. So what is this C? C is cyan, magenta, yellow. So 1, 2, 3 colors came. What is this K? What can be K? Anybody? Okay. What is the color of the space when we go out of the magic school bus? So we took our flying school bus and went outside. What was the color of the sky?
Black.
Black. So the black color is called as K. It is called key color. So it is a very dark color. So anything that you see, any light that you see is in the opposite color of the key color. It is K. So
Good afternoon, sir.
good afternoon. So as a very long time, what they did, they said we will focus on the three colors and their combination colors, and we create a wide spectrum. So what they did all these things, and they finally made a cool color and warm color. So you can see, so red, violet, ultraviolet, blue, green, all these colors are in cool state. And when you see warm colors, you are always in the furious color of red, orange. When someone gets angry, they say, my face went red of anger. So all these colors become cool colors. Now, if we look through our telescope, what happens? These two different colors will be seen all through our galaxy. This, when you combine this with the colors of the telescope, with the colors of our heat and temperature, what you get all the different shades on each planet. So what they did, scientists, they did a method in which they can separate out light into two different wavelengths. So one is on the spectrum that is visible, that you can see in your real eye, which is called true color, and one that is spectral, that is in false color. So all these false colors and true colors created the effect of what we see through space. So when you see Venus, this is how Venus looks like. It's all full of yellowish tone with lot of sulfuric acid rain and all these things. But if you use a spectrometer to see the surface of Venus, it looks like this. It looks blue, it looks orange. It is like the same way that you see a sunflower using a ultraviolet camera. So this ultraviolet effect you can put on, and all these surface features, like is this hot or cold, or is this very hot, what are is there mountains there, all these things you can be found there. Also, this is Jupiter. So this is very very big Jupiter. But if you use visible spectrum to see it, you can see it in all the colors of the rainbow. So you can see color green, color yellow, color brown. On the North Pole and the South Pole, it is very very warm. There is something reason different. So why does it have to be warm on the North Pole and South Pole? All these questions scientists can find using the true color and false color. So all these things happen. Even if you say Uranus looks all the way very bluish or in the some shade of light blue cyan color it looks. But if you use a spectrometer kind of camera to see it on the it's you know how Uranus is. Uranus is always in the sideways. It's going on sideways, and you can see that it is always having a big warm spot on its south pole. It is looking at the south pole. So all these interesting things they found. So now, if you know what is the reason for it to look hot, we can say what is hot. So I will tell you one more thing. Say you have a lamp in your left hand and you have ice cube in your right hand. So which is warmer and which is colder? Which looks warm? The lamp in your left or the ice in your right?
Ice is very cold.
Okay. What about the lamp?
Lamp will be a little warm.
Really hot.
Okay, very hot. Okay. Say now I put different things now. I put a plastic sheet under my hand and I put the lamp on my left and I put a plastic sheet on my right and I put a ice cube here. Which will be warm? Which will be cold?
All are being medium only. All are being medium only.
Oh yes,
Equal.
correct. So because you can't see the warm when you are already having another medium. So each object in the world, say if it is a metal, if it is rubber, if it is plastic, each one has different heat. So it will take different heat. So what they did, they put light on everything and they started seeing one by one. So they found iron is of different light, hydrogen is of different light, sodium is of different light, mercury is of different light. Mercury is actually the metallic mercury, not Mercury is the planet Mercury. So each one is different. So after all these things, scientists said this is the best way to know what is there in each of the planet. So with our telescope and using a spectrometer, they were able to find what is there in the entire planet, and they were able to find what is the each planet's composition. So what is there in its atmosphere, why is it having its color, what is the reason for having that different shades of orange in the Jupiter sky. All this was able to do using the scientific analysis of light and spectral analysis. So we are going to see one by one. So first, the inner planets, all the first 4 inner planets. What are they? Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars. So all these 4 planets are very rocky planet. So there are a lot of stones there and each one is pretty small compared to the size of Jupiter. So I will go one by one, and then there are bigger planets, all the gas planets, very giant ones, and we know that they are always very warm and they are always filled with lot of poisonous gases there. So we are going to go one by one. First we have to start the story with our king. So the Sun King is made up of completely filled with hydrogen and helium, and when you go deep into the Sun's core, it is made of metallic elements that are like cobalt, nickel, iron. All these things are very deep inside. So it is having that yellowish tint. So yellow is because it is filled with hydrogen and helium. So this is how our sun looks like. So it is very hot. It is around 6000 degrees Celsius. So it is exactly in the middle of red side and the violet side. So it is very warm. So all this visible light that you see are made up of yellowish tint, but actually it is of the color white. But sun cannot say it is always white. So there are multiple ways in which you can see the sun. This is first one. Second one, it is our Mercury, a cute little guy which is always running around, having so much of bump in its head all the time. It is very small. So what happens? It doesn't have any gravity. So any gravity it had, it was all swept away. Without gravity, no gas will be there sticking on its surface, so all the gas will go away. But still, what happens if I go and stand in Mercury? If I try to breathe, it will not be useful. What you have to do, you have to lie down and you have to sleep and breathe, because the atmosphere is very very thin. The atmosphere will be like in the foot of your leg, so that is where the atmosphere is very thin. But if you are very big boy like me, if you go beyond the height of 7 feet or 8 feet, there will be no air. The atmosphere will be close to your knees. On the below your heel is the atmosphere. That is very very thin atmosphere. So what is there in there? Very thin atmosphere. There are oxygen, sodium, hydrogen, and other small gases like helium, argon, krypton, all these things. This is the reason why if you go and land in Mercury, you can only see that it is very 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 hot, and without that, if you try to go out without your shirt or without any protection, you will instantly burn in the sky of Mercury. So it is that hot. And also added to that, you are very very close to the sun, and lot of solar wind will come and hit you, and it will instantly burn your face. That much amount of heat is there in the Mercury. So the next planet, next is Venus. Venus is even more hotter. Why? Because it has been a long time that it had a very bad effect of greenhouse effect. So a lot of carbon dioxide got filled in the atmosphere, and it condensed and started compressing all the atmosphere underneath it, and it started raining. So it was not raining in water, it was raining in sulfuric acid. So that what you can use to melt metal. So that kind of melting kind of rain will come down from the sky. So it is filled with completely with carbon dioxide in its atmosphere, with little bit of nitrogen, just 3% nitrogen. But for us, we have been filled with more than 70% with nitrogen in Earth. So it is the exact opposite. Lots of carbon dioxide. So very hot there in the Venus. But that is the reason why Venus is so bright, because all the carbon dioxide is not allowing sunlight to go inside the planet. So it is reflecting all the light, and all the light you can see is coming towards us in Earth, and we can see the Venus even in the very very dark sky. Next one is Earth, our Earth. Earth is the only place it is very very suitable. It is our mother Earth. We can able to walk around freely. We don't have to wear any oxygen mask here. What happens over many thousands of years, we have evolved to create a process called photosynthesis, wherein which all the carbon dioxide in the air gets absorbed by the trees and the leaves, and what they do, they give out energy of oxygen, and they make their own food. This is the reason why our Earth is very very beautiful, because even when there is so much of nitrogen, there are equal proportions of oxygen, and with oxygen we can able to create more and more life in our world. So that is the reason why. So all this nitrogen is helping us to save our planet from getting very cold. So that is the reason why we have lot of ability to move around in the Earth. Next one, it is our cute little moon. Moon, basically it is very low in gravity, just 0.3 times the gravity in Earth, and all this has contributed it to have very less atmosphere. What you can do, if Mercury is like, if you go down to your knee to breathe, you have to bend down and breathe in the moon's atmosphere, and it is not very breathable also. What happens, you can only breathe hydrogen, argon, neon, and other noble gases when you are there in the moon. So moon is not very suitable for living without oxygen mask. And next, our big, always intelligent Mars. What happens, Mars is full of very different kind of scenario, because it also has a lot of poor reason for low atmosphere. So what happens, it is filled with so much of carbon dioxide and very little bit of nitrogen. So what happens, all this has resulted in Mars becoming so cold over many thousands of years, and this has made it much thinner than the atmosphere of Venus. So this is also another fact. So what has happened, over many thousands of years, all the big rocks in the surface of Mars got powdered. So it is like taking a brick and trying to rub it against the brick of another. So when you start rubbing it again and again, you create powder brick. So the entire surface of Mars is filled with powder sand, and it creates very big kind of dusty storms. So that is why even if there is a very little atmosphere, it is filled with lot of dust and lot of carbon dioxide. Next one, all the planets that you have seen, this is Mercury, Venus, the hot guy, Earth, very beautiful one, and Mars, always intelligent but a lot of dusty planet. Next we are going to the bigger guys, Jupiter. So Jupiter, what happened, it was so big, it started taking all the energy from the outside of its territory. So it had started absorbing all the energy even from the sun. Over many thousands of years, it has become, sorry, not thousand, many millions of years, it has become so massive that it had taken so much of space. Why? Because it is like a very small sun. So it has got enough hydrogen, enough helium to fill the entire planet. So the whole planet is made up of hydrogen, helium. A little bit of the traces, just less than 1%, it is made up of metallic hydrogen and other elements like methane, ethane, ammonia, and very small trace of water is there in the Jupiter. So we are going into the next big brother of Jupiter, our favorite Saturn. Saturn, it is very massive, it is very big, and entire planet is only made of gas. What kind of gases? Again, these gases are hydrogen, helium, little bit of 1% of lesser than that of noble gases, and there are a lot of sulfur floating in the atmosphere as a cloud. So all this ammonia cloud is pouring in rain of ammonium hydrosulfide. So what happens, this becomes very chilling in the some zones of Saturn. So this chilling nature creates a kind of band of colors in the Saturn's atmosphere. But it doesn't stop there, because somewhere one of the moons of Saturn is more favorable for us to go and visit, which is that we have already went there. Cassini-Huygens probe went there. This is that one particular moon. It is called Titan. So Titan is so similar to what we can see in our Earth. So Earth also has lot of nitrogen. It is having a little bit more percentage of methane. Why so? Because somewhere in the past of Titan's history, there was some missing element called carbon dioxide. Without carbon dioxide, all the carbon dioxide escaped out the Titan's atmosphere, and it has become like a very chilling planet with lot of liquid methane. So if we go and put a pump there and try to pump every methane from that, it will try to become a reverse effect of creating new carbon dioxide. So I told you that there are two ways to see a planet. What are the two colors that you can see? One is in true color, another one is true color that you can see normally with all the RGB color, and false color. What are the colors you can see in false color? Hello. Any color you can see colors like green, purple, orange, all these colors.
Blue.
Yes, blue, all these colors you can see. So what happens if you put that you can also see red, Kana. So what happens if you put that on Titan? You will see this. So it's a very big ocean of liquid methane. So normally if you see this, it looks like this yellow color, no visible feature, no nothing. But if you put spectrometric camera and you see the false color, you can see that there are lots of surface details, like there is an ocean there are mountains there. All this chilling thing is because they are made up of lots and lots of mountains of methane and ammonia. So this is very interesting. And after this, there are two little more planets, that is Uranus and Neptune. So Uranus, Uranus is always side rolling, belly rolling all the time. And what happens on its surface also, it is not visible because it is very filled with lots and lots of gases. What are the gases? So these gases like hydrogen, helium, methane, and there are methane is now filling in the atmosphere of Uranus, and it is creating a kind of color called blue cyan color. So that is the reason why the planet looks like this, all dull colored, not much leafy, as if you can create this using your hand with a pencil. So very simple color Uranus looks. But all this is because lots of methane is there trapped in the atmosphere of Uranus. So next is Neptune. Neptune is having that shade of blue. So why is that so? Because Neptune also has that tendency of trapping all that hydrogen and helium that Jupiter missed over many thousands of years. But it has also created a runaway effect of hydrocarbons. That these hydrocarbons like methane that you have also in Uranus have created this bluish tint all over the atmosphere. So whenever there is colors in traces like nitrogen and methane or ammonia, it tries to go into the color of blue. So those planets, like even our Earth, it is filled in such a way because we have natural tendency to create the color of blue. So our entire planet, when you look very far, it gives out lot of nitrogen and ammonia gases that go out. So that's why our planet is also in blue color when we see from the sky. Now we saw all our four big guys. So one is Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Now you will ask, what about my cute little guy? Who are we missing now?
Pluto.
Pluto. We have to see Pluto also, right? So next comes Pluto. Pluto was not a planet for last 12 years. Before that, it was called as planet. It became a dwarf planet, thinking that it doesn't have its very own unique atmosphere. It is because this planet is very cold. It takes around 249 years to go around the Earth. So how many days does it take for us to go around the sun? Sorry, how many days does it? Correct. How many days does it take for us to go around the sun?
365 and a quarter.
365 and quarter. So imagine, so 249 is like this way back in the solar system. So almost 1/3 of the time it is so far behind that it will never even see the sun. So what happens? Its entire surface is filled with so much of ice. So this liquid nitrogen, that is very cold nitrogen, is there across the space, and this has created a kind of mystic kind of white and brownish color on the surface of Pluto. So that's why for many thousands of years we never knew there was a planet called Pluto, because it was in a different orbit than any other planet, because we thought whatever we are going to see another bigger planet after we see Neptune. But we found a very small guy. This was not classified as a planet because it was not having the size and composition of a planet. So altogether, what the scientists said, this has become a candidate or a member of dwarf planet. What other dwarf planet is there beyond Neptune? There is also another example called Eris. Eris is even smaller. See, Pluto is about 249 Earth years to go around the sun. Eris even farther. So it will take about 556 years to go around the sun. So it is twice longer than that of the planet Pluto, dwarf planet Pluto. So it is so far away that we have not had any camera to take photograph of Eris. So Eris is far into the sky. So some future mission, some planetary mission will take place and will send a spacecraft to take photo of Eris far into the future. So that is another example. So now everybody is wondering how many moons are there for each planet. So there are some from Jupiter to Neptune. Each planet has somewhere around 25 to 70 moons. So our Earth has only one moon. So if you compare the size of Earth, so you can say, okay, I will take Saturn. Saturn's biggest moon is Titan. So Titan is little bigger than our moon. And if you say Pluto is like this small. Pluto's moon is smaller than the Earth's moon. And all these things are to a maximum scale of how the Earth is. So if you compare the size of the Earth, this is the size of the moon compared to Earth. So I said it is 1/6 the size of the our planet, our moon. So all this is compared to the size of Earth. Now we will go even bigger. We will put everything together. Now you can ask me what is the size of particular moon. I will tell you. Which do you want to know? You want to know the Mars, Deimos and Phobos? We'll go in, zoom in.
Titan.
Titan, okay.
Which planets have more than one moon?
So you can see. Sorry, it's a little delayed. So Titan is around 2575.5 kilometers. So every planet has at least one moon more than our planet Earth. There are only two planets which don't have moon, which is Mercury and Venus. Apart from that, every other planet has more than one moon. Mercury and Venus do not have. I don't know why it doesn't have. And okay, what about Neptune's moons? Jupiter's moon. Ganymede is around 2634, slightly bigger than our moon. Callisto is 2410, Io is 1821.6, Europa is 1560.8 kilometers. And Earth's around 6371 kilometers. So it is that big. So any planet or any astronomical body, if you compare, you can say it to the scale of what is the planet's diameter. With that, we can say what is the scale of the entire solar system. So next, we can also say what is the gravity of each planet. So we'll take Earth's gravity as 1. So Venus is slightly lesser gravity than Earth, and Mars is just 1/3, 1/4. Mercury is even lighter, and all these are moons of Jupiter, Saturn. So everyone has lesser gravity than Earth. So what happens if you go and stand there? If there is no balance of your body, you will fall, trip and fall down. So very feeble amount of gravity is there on the other exoplanets and other moons out of our solar system. So now when you compare the tilt, so you know how tilting is. So except Uranus, every other planet is tilting in an angle that is of either positive 20 degrees or negative 20 degrees. Mercury and Venus are almost in the center, but for Venus it is tilted in the exact opposite direction, and Uranus is like 90 degrees belly rolling across the sky. So each one is quite different in it. And next question, it is on the size of the scale. Someone asked me which is the biggest planet. How do you compare it when you have Saturn's ring also? Saturn's ring is far stretched, so it is around some additional 12 million kilometers from the Saturn's outermost point. If you account that, you can put all the other 4 bigger planets into that ring, and still there will be more space for it. So that big it is. But we will not account the ring of Saturn. We will only compare it to the size of the biggest object, that is Sun. So comparing to Sun, Jupiter is this big, Saturn is this, Uranus is this. Uranus and Neptune is almost in the same size. Pluto and Charon is like very small. They are even farther smaller than our own moon. Next, comparing them side by side. So now, taking all these things and trying to find where is Pluto in all the sky. See, every planet is not going around the sun in the same time. So one will be very close it will go very, very fast. Jupiter is here, Saturn is here, so it is slightly off. So if you plot the distance between Saturn and Pluto, for them to come very close to each other, it will take them close to around 3 million years to come close, because somewhere in the solar system there is a intersecting path between Pluto and Saturn. It is crossing, so you can see it will cross Pluto and Uranus. It is crossing the planet orbit of Uranus, and sometime in the very, very distant future, Pluto may hit the planet Uranus in a very, very, very long time from now. We don't know when. It is being predicted that it will go for another millions of years. And when you say on the scale of the diameter in all the kilometers that we know, so this is how it is for each planet. And now one question was put forth: who created Pluto? The evolutionary theory, that is, for a very, very long time, scientists thought that the best way to give an example is through our calendar. So what is our calendar? Which month are we right now?
September.
Very good. So September we are right now. So if we say this year 2020 started in January 1 of 2020. So from there we came all the way here. And over many, many thousands of years, one second. Okay. So after many, many thousands of years, this planet evolved over the month of December of 2020. So from January till December, there was no much activity. So there was very big galaxies forming. The Milky Way was born in May of that month, and over many, many thousands of years, life was starting to evolve. But when did the life actually come? It came on the December 1st of the cosmic calendar. So all the animals, from dinosaurs to apes to humans, so humans traveling around the world, from there to another 1,000 years, all these things happened very, very close to December 31 of the cosmic calendar. So somewhere very, very far away, that is in the period of August of the cosmic calendar, there was birth of the planet Pluto. Until then, there was no planet Pluto. There was no other solar system objects there. So there was no Mercury, no Venus, no Mars. So everything that has evolved from the world or evolved from the universe was not there until August of the cosmic calendar. So this comes to the conclusion. So someone had a question, I will try to read it. Which planet has the most moons? Okay. Factually speaking, we know somewhere close to around 70 moons of Jupiter, and we know there are more than 90 moons of Saturn. Saturn is the highest number of candidate with moons, so I would say Saturn. But we are still discovering. There was even a recent discovery of a new moon from Saturn just a couple of weeks back. Every month there is a new moon being discovered in the solar system.
Question.
What question, Kanama?
Mercury are bigger or Pluto is bigger?
Which one is bigger? First, what did you ask? Pluto compared to
Mercury.
Pluto or Mercury? I would say Mercury is slightly bigger. Okay.
Why did they discover that Pluto is a dwarf planet?
because it did not have the atmospheric conditions for a planet. It was very far away, and what they did, they found that Charon, the moon of the Pluto, was orbiting at the same time across the across the solar system on its own shared orbit. So what you say? Hmm, if you think this is Pluto, this is the size of Pluto, and this was the size of Charon. So both the planets shared the same orbit, so it was going around the same way. So they thought either Charon has to be classified as a binary planet. So binary planet is two planets going at the same orbit, or they said we will depromote Pluto into a dwarf planet. So they said they chose the easiest option, and they said we will remove the Pluto from the International Astronomical Union of calling it as a planet. And they made it as a dwarf planet. How fast is Saturn's rings? Okay, Saturn's rings, I have to tell you next time, next episode. Saturn's ring is not basically one simple thing that you can say it as very fast. They are going very pretty fast, but I will tell you, it takes many days for Saturn's rings to go across the entire Saturn's diameter.
Abhi, I'll request you to ask some questions to children so that let's see how far they have learned.
Okay, sure. Not a problem. What are the three primary colors?
Red, blue, and green.
Red, blue, yellow.
Not yellow, green. Okay, that is what you are
Red,
telling.
blue, and green.
Red, blue, and green. What are secondary colors? Secondary colors, CMYK. What is C? What is C?
It's a kind of blue.
It's called cyan. CYAN, cyan. M? M is Harshita's dress color. Kind of Harshita's dress color. It is slightly kind of pink, so they call it as magenta. Y? What is Y? We can say it as a rhyme. Color, dirty color. No.
Black.
Oh.
Yellow.
Yellow, dirty fellow.
Hello.
Yellow, dirty fellow. Sitting
Okay.
one above.
So C, M, Y, and K. What is K? What is the color K?
Key.
Key is also
Black.
called black.
Black.
Yes. So the entire spectrum of light that you can see can be classified into this primary and secondary colors. So all the colors that you see is made that way. And what is the atmosphere of Jupiter made up of? Jupiter is close to Sun, very close in atmosphere to Sun.
Nitrogen.
No.
Yes.
What gas?
Hydrogen.
Very good. Hydrogen and
Helium.
hydrogen and helium. Very good. What about why is the Neptune in very blue color? What is the reason for it to have blue color? What are the two things that you need to create the blue color?
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen and
Water.
water is not blue, Kanama. Water is clear. It doesn't have any color. There is another element which needs to have blue. Nitrogen plus hydrogen creates
Ice.
NH3.
Ice.
Ice is not blue, Kanama. There are traces of correct. NH3 is methane, and ammonia, there is also traces of ammonia, so that it combines to create the traces of blue color in the Neptune's atmosphere. There are different kinds of ice. You remember I told you about that snowflakes, correct? Snowflakes, all that beautiful shapes. The way in which you can create all these shapes is because the way it gets very cold. Pluto is going around for about 240 years across the solar system, and over many thousands of years, all that nitrogen is getting very cold and making itself into ammonia. But in the surface of Neptune, it is not staying at one place. It is going it is going around the sky very fast. So it is getting bombarded all the time by other gases. So that's why it is of slightly different shades of blue. Which part did you
One
like
more.
about which part did you like about this particular size and color theory?
The ultraviolet.
Oh, you have not seen ultraviolet light of a flower or anything.
Oh,
Oh, you have science in your subject, right?
yes, sir.
Okay, you can ask your science teacher to get a ultraviolet lamp, and you can make this experiment of what we did. We used to have very cool thing. So we will have all the color sketch pens. You know what is color sketches? Color sketches.
Yes, sir.
We draw different color sketches in a paper, and we will ask the teacher to put ultraviolet light on the color paper. So what happens? Those that are in bright color will change into dark color, and those that are in dark color will change into light color. So each color pigment that you see in your sketch pen is based on the color that it is reflecting out. So ultraviolet will absorb that light and give you the false color image. Hi Bhubesh.
That's Aryan.
Okay. Hi Aryan.
What is made of Pluto?
What is made of Pluto? I told you, Kanama, it is made up of nitrogen. So much of nitrogen. Very cold nitrogen. What I will do, I will share the composition chart with you in the group so that you can go zoom in and see all the composition of different planets.
You can ask question.
I have to ask question. I am very clueless of asking questions. Okay. I will ask you one fundamental question. So this is
What
something.
are stars made of?
Stars are made up of hydrogen and helium, Kanama. Very so much so that they are made up of condensed metallic hydrogen and helium. So it is called a fusion reaction. That is where the energy of the entire solar system comes from. My fundamental question is, what are the primary shapes? What are the 4 primary shapes that you can draw using a sheet of paper? Sheet of paper.
Rectangle, square, triangle, circle.
Excellent, super. So, can you repeat again?
Rectangle, square, triangle, circle.
Okay. Can you order them on the magnitude of their dimension? Do you know what is a dimension? No, you don't know. Okay, fine. I'll put it even easier. Which is the most simplest thing to draw among these 4 shapes?
Rectangle.
Rectangle is very easy. Yeah. Okay.
Triangle.
Circle.
See, I told you. So, circle or the shape of O is very easy to draw, correct?
Yes.
So, that is,
It doesn't have a diameter.
it has only one diameter. Yeah, that is all one dimension. Okay. So, if I ask you to draw a square, what do you need? What do you need to draw a square?
In equal sides? All the sides should be equal.
Okay, so I can if you have anyone has a piece of paper, can anyone take a piece of paper? Just one piece of paper.
Sir?
Oh yeah, enough. Okay, fine. So try to draw a circle of. It can be anything. Try to draw a circle in one sheet of paper. Just draw one circle. without taking the pen, without taking the pen away from the paper?
One minute, sir.
No problem.
A circle, sir.
Yes, a circle, sir, without taking the pen off from the paper. It's like making a dosa on the plate. One dosa, one round dosa. Ah, very good. You draw one circle. Okay, very good, Kana. Now, very good. Now, what you do? You fold that paper into half. Okay, excellent. Now, on the edge of that paper, okay, now on the edge of the paper, you draw the shape of a, you know what is Tamil's pa? Pa? You know what is pa? You know what is pa? Okay, draw the pa, shape of pa on the edge of the paper. So I'll draw and show you. So it looks like this. Okay, now slightly move that paper and draw another pa. So it looks like this. So on the first page it looks like this, on the second page it looks like this. Okay, got it? Okay, now can you tell me when this shape becomes square?
Fully, the first one should be hid.
If I just put the line on the edge, it becomes a square. If I pull slightly away, it becomes a rectangle.
Rectangle.
So there are 1 and 2 dimensions for it. But for drawing a square, you need only 1 dimension. That is, you have to draw one pa, one equal distance at pa. Correct? So now, do the same thing. I'll try to draw a closed pa. It's a kind of a closed pa. It looks like this. And on the next page, if I draw an inverted V, so I have to draw 1, 2, 3, 3 sides to form a triangle. So if I keep doing this for a not many times, if I do this for very many times, which will be most easy for me to draw? You can also draw a shark, anything. Which is the most easy for me to draw? After if I keep doing this, turning page, writing, drawing, turning page, writing, drawing, which is the most easy for me? Drawing a circle in one page, or drawing rectangle, square, or triangle in a?
Drawing a circle in one page.
Circle. Why?
So that is the fundamental of the nature. So nature has created the most easiest shape of all the things in the entire galaxy. So for creating a circle, it is much easy for things to work. So that is called gravity. So gravity has made sure that everything acts on the same side, on the same sheet of paper. This is called space-time. So it is a little complicated subject, but I wanted you to have a taste of what is space, what is size, and what is color, so that all these things can be easily made for you for the next episode. So next we are going to talk on the topic and we'll make another topic on this on the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhi. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Children,
Abhi.
Thank you, Abhi sir.
Thank you
Very,
so
very
much.
intensive class.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abhi.
Next class, we are going to see about Saturn, sir.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, Samyukta will see you next class. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, children. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
everyone.
Abhi.
Bye bye.
Bye. Have a nice weekend. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, Abhi sir.